Where your attention goes, your system follows. Where your attention goes, your system follows. The first step to any meaningful transformation, healing, growth, recovery, learning how to perform and have impact at our very best, and also rest and restore effectively, it all starts with our attention. We're so caught up in this world of all of the hacks and the to-dos and the different things that we can do to make ourselves better. And yet, the key to transformation, the key to changing our brains, rewiring our neural pathways, redeveloping a relationship with our nervous system starts with our attention. Where your attention goes, your whole system follows. Because as we get older, what happens is our brains and the behaviors, the ways that we show up in the world, they become harder and harder to change. And maybe you've noticed this, right? Maybe you've realized yourself getting triggered or having anxiety or frustration or what I would call depleting emotions. And as you reflect back on that experience where you may have been reactive or short or realized I didn't show up in the best way that I was hoping to or that I wanted to, what we begin to realize is that those behaviors, those neural pathways are deep, deep down. They've potentially been established throughout years and even decades of our lives. And no longer can we simply choose. Can we just say to ourselves, hey, I'm going to choose to show up a different way? That's not how our brains work. Instead, the key to neuroplasticity, the key to taking ownership and rebuilding, and sometimes for the first time, really claiming the ways that we want to show up, how we want to feel, how we want to act and have impact in really key moments. We're doing that all for the first time. And it all starts with us building a relationship with our attention. I think about this concept of attentional awareness, being aware of where is my attention going. And so for a second, just think back, reflect on a time in your life, and you may not have to go back that far. It may be earlier today, earlier this week. Think back to a time when you got into a totally reactive state, or maybe you were feeling lots of depleting emotions, frustration, anger, resentment, disappointment, sadness. And then take a moment and think about, where was my attention? Where did my attention go? And what you may realize really quickly is that where your attention is getting sucked in and sucked away from you into, let's use things like social media, right? Notifications, the ways that our device is pulling our attention away and actually really um, suboptimally rewiring our brain from a pleasure, pain, and reward pathway perspective, right? From those little dopamine hits that we're getting that actually is doing a lot of damage up here. Well, it starts with that, but then your attention gets sucked into the device, or maybe sucked into something that I'm thinking about in the future, a presentation or a conversation I'm going to need to have. Maybe your attention is going back into the past to something you regret or are disappointed about, maybe you have some shame or some guilt about. And then realize what happens after your attention starts following that track. What happens to your system? What does it feel like inside of your body? And that's your nervous system, your heart, your physical body, all following your attention. Where your attention goes, your system follows. And so the key, what we need to do is to come all the way back and begin building this relationship with our attention. Here's your takeaway. Here's your homework. Throughout the next 5, 6, 7 days, see if you can do this for a week. Bring awareness to where your attention and where your system is 20 to 30 times a day. So getting up in the morning, you could take a breath. Okay, where am I at? Where is my attention? Am I right here, kind of just slowly waking up and letting my body kind of start moving and mobilizing? Or is my mind already in 10, 20, 100 different places, bouncing all over the place? Right? As you go throughout your day, just bring observation, bring awareness back into your body, back into where your attention is. That word, observation and awareness, is really important, because part of what we're not taught as we grow up is that it's okay just to observe where we are. I use this term called meeting the body where it is, and it's from Polyvagal Theory, right? The theory of the nervous system and needing to be safe. But it's okay to just bring observation, bring awareness. Now, what you'll notice is that we're not bringing judgment. We're not bringing a story. We're not bringing any emotions. We're not getting wrapped up in our attention and where it's going, but we're just observing. And for some of us, that's a really big step, a big transition to give ourselves the permission to just observe, right? The permission to pause and just take note. Maybe bring some curiosity. Wow, like I can really feel my body mobilizing, or I'm shutting down, right? I'm going down into the cave for some reason. And that's really interesting. That's observation. That's curiosity. And the reason why we need that is because what we're starting to do is we're starting to empower ourselves that we can just bring observation and awareness to where our body and where our system is. And once we do that, we create the opportunity, we give ourselves the agency to do something about it. And that is where transformation begins. That is where healing and growth and optimal performance and recovery all begin, is in that moment of empowerment and agency under me being able to bring my attention and my awareness back into the body, just observe where I'm at, and then choose what I want to do. And only then do we want to start talking and thinking about the different tools and protocols and rituals that we can practice. And so for today and for your next week, as you're thinking about, okay, I'm just going to observe my attention. I'm going to bring attentional awareness into the present moment, into my body 20 to 30 times a day. And my encouragement to you then is once you've checked in with yourself, once you've kind of checked in on where is my attention, where is my system, where is my attention leading me, perhaps if you notice yourself in a non or a suboptimal state, if you notice yourself with depleting emotions, your attention pulling you into places that aren't healthy and don't feel good, then maybe you just stop and you breathe. And you just simply bring all of that attention just for 5 to 10 seconds into your breath. Breathing in through your nose, maybe bringing that breath intentionally down into your belly, letting the exhale just fall out, feeling your shoulders drop, your arms and your hands get soft and heavy. And let's just practice this right now because you're here, I'm here, we might as well. Let's do 3 breaths where we're just really focusing on the sensation of the breath. We're bringing all of our attention back into this moment. So we're going to inhale. You can exhale through the mouth for the first one with a little sigh. I can feel my shoulders, my arms getting heavy. Inhale through the nose, feel the cool air coming in, filling up the belly, filling up the chest. And exhale, maybe through the nose this time. Feeling everything relax. I can almost feel everything slow down. One more inhale, big inhale. Exhale through the nose, relax the face, the jaw, the eyes, the shoulders. Feel your heart soften. Okay, if you've just done that with me, what I'd encourage you to do right now is to do another check-in. Where's your attention? Where's your system? How do you feel right now compared to not only 45 seconds ago? You can even hear in the sound of my voice that my state has changed, right? I've just calmed down a little bit. And guess what? Everything in my body, my neurophysiology, everything that's connected is benefiting from that because I've moved. We can see it on the board back here. I've moved from a little bit more of a mobilized, energized state because I'm presenting, I'm excited to be talking to you, into a calm, restful, renewing, peaceful, and restorative state. And that's all it takes. That's all it takes is that little mini intervention, 20 to 30 times a day. We call those neural exercises because for some of us, it's the first time that we are taking ownership. We're bringing awareness. We're empowering ourselves to get back into our body, to own our attention, even if it's only for a fleeting moment. That's the beginning. And the more that we do that, we create this, initially subtle, but transformational 1% trajectory change. So in those 20 to 30 moments where previously you'd go down a suboptimal neural pathway, You'd have a reaction that you're not necessarily proud about. You'd feel things in your body that don't feel good. Well, now 20 to 30 times a day, you're going to bring all that attention and you're going to bring it back into your body and you're going to connect. You're going to come back to center. And it may be fleeting. It may only be for a moment or two, but that's okay. Because after 20, 30, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 repetitions of that, guess what? Your life is on a different path. But it all starts with that first check-in. Where is my attention? Where is my system? Where your attention goes, your system follows, and you have all of the ownership you need over building a relationship with that attentional awareness. If you practice this, if you do it even 5 reps a day for a week, I want to hear from you. Part of this journey of us transforming, healing, growing, recovering is doing it together. So even though we're connected by a screen, I would absolutely love to hear from you. We're all humans. We're all part of this journey together. I'm here with you, and I'm truly, truly wishing you the very best. You can do this.